All right, spaceship repair repaint take one. This is frog tape that I'm using, and I detacked it by laying it on the table and giving it a quick pull. And I'm going to trim it off and do one test here, and I will be sanding down these edges a little bit before I do so they don't stand out. We'll see how it goes. And you can tell this is primer underneath, and I believe that is the gloss aluminum from Tamiya lacquer. I don't know why it came up so easily, but I have painted, repainted, stripped, repainted, primed, painted this thing so many times. I'm not even sure which paint this is, so I'll try the gloss aluminum and see how that works. I used the same tool to re-etch it, and I sanded it down some, but those edges, that's a lot of paint, and without stripping the whole thing, I don't think there's much chance of smoothing it out that well, but I'm going to give it a shot here. Well, something unexpected. After 24 hours of hardening, I still managed to leave a fingerprint in the new paint. So I am going to give another 24 hours to harden. I did sand down those edges a little bit. But the good news is I went ahead and peeled the tape to make sure it wasn't going to come off the rim, and it didn't. So I guess I'll do something else and come back to this in 24 hours. As we all know, the essence of model building is patience, which is not my superpower, but this time I'm just going to wait. Okay, here's the dealio. This is the paint that I used for the dark gray section, this Krylon, and I don't know if it's reacting with the other paint or what, but it's going to need a little more time to cure. At least it didn't lift off like the other paint did. I also noticed that I did some tests. Up here, the paint doesn't want to lift. It's only down here, but down here I think it's thinner, so it may have been just too thin of a coat. Anyway, whatever the problem was, I need to give this another 24 hours to harden so I don't leave any more thumbprints in it. And, I'm really glad it didn't lift up with the tape. I'm glad it detacked it. But the frog tape is probably still what I'll use. But what I'm going to do is, I don't want to run the air conditioner in here for 24 hours just to keep one thing, dry. Because I know if I turn the AC off and leave it in here, it's going to get hot and humid, and the paint may not cure as well. So I'm going to bring the saucer section into the house, and then I will leave it in my office a day or two to harden. And that way I can check it while I'm on the computer or whatever. When it looks like it's ready, I'll come back and repaint it. As some of you guys have commented, this thing really has fought me all the way. But my wife came up with a great idea. She goes, what about next Halloween? Since I have the cockpit as a side display and it has this void area, she goes, what if we use this as a candy dish? Have a little motor going on the bottom, put a plate in it and a bowl, and people can just lift the clear top or the hard top, and there'd be candy inside. I love that idea, but I love candy. All right, since I have something going on this evening, I'm just going to make this short video for the evening video. I'm not going to get back out here today. And let's see. There's that paper I was talking about. It was packing in one of the boxes you guys sent me, and it came in real handy for masking off something big like this. This is why I'm a pack rat. I never throw anything away. And just for kicks and giggles before I go, we'll do a real quick tour of the TARBIS to see how things are now. This is the back wall, and got pictures up and everything. And there's that 727, the truck, and the 140 scale Revell Sky Raider. And I'll go over here. You guys have seen this all before. There's a Colonel's box art, or box top with his signature on it. And then up here on top of my display shelf is sort of like a quick history of aviation, biplanes, primitive, V1 primitive self-guided stuff, missiles, and then the future. Down here we play with that aquarium. I got the tanks in there, and then models that are basically too big to go anywhere else. There's the Korean Mustang, the toilet bomber, the Ontis. This is my movie shelf, stuff from the movies. Here's shooting a scene from Knight Rider, The Longest Day, This Island Earth, that's the Stinson, Snoopy and the Red Baron, Han Solo's car thing, Top Gun, Blue Thunder. Down here we have the Cold War stuff, the helicopters from Vietnam and Korean War stuff. Below that we just have like base plates and stands and things like that. There's the lighting stuff in that box. Come over here. You know, this light is a studio light, but it's really handy for lighting at my desk when I'm working. Does a great job, obviously. And then we have, I keep moving this thing around. That's my Dremel setup. I don't use that often, but when you need it, it's great. Sandpaper and sanding stuff. There's my workbench. There's a little J22 I need to get back to work on. Paints and glues and stuff. And my little speaker for playing music, portable, great. Okay, up here we have all of the stuff I didn't build, like pre-made stuff. Well, I did build that Caravel. That's the one I did just recently in the truck, but most of these planes are wooden carvings. Over there's some sci-fi stuff, Thunderbirds and Camo and Johnny Quest and Klingon Battle Cruise. But you guys see what it is. Here we have sort of a mixed bag, Luftwaffe and U.S. Air Force and Civil Aviation, the Buster Robin Olds. Down here we have a lot of the 1/72nd scale World War II stuff, plus the Airbus. And it's kind of in order, you know, early war, pre-war, British, foreign, you know, British fighting in China, World War I, then we go back to World War II and Korea. It's not in any particular order. There's the captured IL-10 in American markings, because that's what I had. Do something different. And the 3 Hellcats, and the Japanese stuff back there. And we move down here. We're getting into the Navy aircraft. Down there, Cold War jets, mostly. Here's the paint booth. Of course, it's an utter mess. Looks like somebody rolled a grenade in here. And yes, I'm the Rattle Can King paint booth. Here's all the ships behind the sci-fi stuff. And a bunch of ships, floats and boats. And up here we have the television sci-fi stuff mostly. And the wooden stuff. Then we have biplanes, mostly left to right, going from World War I. As you go right, stuff gets more modern till you get into some of the interwar monoplanes. Then we have Luftwaffe and German down here, and down here United States Army Air Corps, you know, the World War II stuff. Then a couple of more models. There's one of the Grumman Avengers I used in my Midway video, which as you probably know, I had to frost the windows and everything to prevent green screen reflection. Didn't really work, but worth a shot. And they were made to be filmed at distance, not up close. Then we have kind of miscellany, then Japanese, and then land vehicles. Then we get into spares and scrap over those vacuum kits. And then we start getting into all the scraps, you know, all the collection, which finally got organized, as you recall. That B-29 I have plans for. There's the Guilos SBD that Ken gave me that I built. There's my new air conditioner, which you can still only air condition about half of this building. This is the other work table, and this is primarily where I to close that. This is primarily where I built the Sky-rated toilet bombers. You can tell by the fact that I still have extra bombs laying around. And this is armor shelf, 135, 132nd scale armor, German mostly. And go over here, and we have some sides. These are sort of the short stack of kits I want to get to, although I actually need to finish with the Sky Raider. I want to figure out how I want to bag the spare parts before I put the box away in the other shed. And these are kind of the short stack. I already built the GT4, so I think I'm using that box for scrap parts and stuff. But just the miscellany, electronics, things like that, leftover stuff. There's some stuff for making dioramas, various gadgets, another box full of stuff and pieces, parts. Here's more models that are supposed to be on the short list, although I'm not sure I can keep that all organized. Pad center that I got for grinding down the UFO. Over here, these are the 3 B-17s that I need to get working on, and the Focke-Wulf. This is all the stuff I plan to get to soon. And here's the big Jupiter too, and I've got the lighting kits for that. So that takes us around the horn. I've got Darth Vader on security, and hanging from the ceiling, we got the Revell CH-54 Tarhay Sky Crane. I believe that's a Mania Kate. And my kit basher, the prop and jet Dornier 330. I'm going to call it 337 Alpha. Okay, that's everything. That's around the horn and the TARBIS. Talk to you guys later. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.